guys, welcome back to another video. Starting a little different, we are gonna be having a little chat today. So I just wanted to sit down and film like a little catch-up video, I guess. I don't know, I've never filmed a sit-down video, so I guess it's not really catch-up. But all that being said, we are doing a little like highs and lows of living in New York City. Maybe some like realities that I've set in, or unexpected things just in general about New York City living. So if you're new here, my name's Mia, I'm 21. I've been living in New York City now for just over 5 weeks, and made that move from my childhood home and like home state away from my family. First move out of anything like that comfortability wise ever. So pretty drastic move. Like, it's pretty major, I would say. I don't think it really still will ever hit me over the fact that like the first time I ever moved out of my childhood home was like across the country. I don't know, it's not that crazy to me, but to a lot it is. So anyways, let's just kind of get into the past 5 weeks. So actually, before I get into the past 5 weeks, I'm gonna briefly explain like why New York, how I ended up here, what I'm doing out here. So I visited back in 2023 with my mom. Super random trip, very last minute. We were gonna go somewhere completely different actually, but plans changed. So then we ended up in New York City, and I, like, not to be cliche or cheesy, but I like fell in love with the city, and I knew that I was gonna move here and I had to live here. I had to live here. There was no way that I would just live my entire life not living here. Even if it's for after this year lease I'm on, like, and I'm done, I lived here at least. But I don't think that'll be the case. However, that being said, I had to kind of come up with like an actual good excuse or like reason to move out here, other than the fact that like I just wanted to. Like, I wish I had that luxury to just move somewhere just because I wanted to really badly. But so I applied to school. I got into school, transferred from my community college. Now I'm here in New York, going to a city college. Very easy commute from my apartment. It's amazing. I'll be there for at least like 2 years ish, give or take. I'm working part-time. For my job in Arizona, I was able to transfer here at a different location. Just got another part-time job as a receptionist at a little like boutique fitness studio. And then I just got an internship too, actually. That's another crazy thing I'll cover briefly in a little bit. But yeah, I think that's it. So I wanted to move here for like 2 years-ish, almost 2 years. And I just worked super hard back home. I was working 2 jobs, going to school full-time, getting my associate's degree, saved a lot of money, and did a lot of research, and I made it happen. That's basically it. So now we'll get into like the actual, like, now that I'm living here, what I've experienced and all the crazy things. So the first big factor, scary part, daunting thing that I feel like most people moving to New York City are concerned about is like making friends and like having a social life and creating a little like circle of community. I personally recommend Bumble BFF. I know it's kind of cringe. I'm not gonna lie, I'll give that to you. It's a cringe concept. However, I now have like 4 or 5 solid friendships already, and I've been here for 5 weeks, and I've only met more people through them. It's been a really great way to just like get out there and socialize, and like no one feels cringe when you're sitting at a happy hour with girls that are like your age and you're having fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like getting over yourself and putting yourself on an app like that. Other people are doing it, so why not join them? That does not apply in all situations, now that I'm saying that out loud. But Bumble BFF, great place to meet people. Run clubs, I met people. Workout classes, I feel like these are all pretty stereotypical answers. School even, like, and then another thing too, like, yeah, you can go to these places and you don't meet people necessarily unless you are putting in effort, and that's another big thing. I've said this recently to a friend, and I was like, if you're gonna come to this city and then just like not socialize or not like try to put an effort to like meet people and then go and complain about how you don't have any friends, it's like, well, yeah, of course you don't have any friends. You're not trying to make friends. You just think they're all going to come to you, which like some people attract people like that, and I just, you know, good for them. I have to put effort because I can come off as a little unfriendly in the face, a little intimidating, I've been told. But I love it. I love like just kind of talking to strangers randomly, because you never know where it's gonna go. Even if it's something like a compliment, that always makes people like so happy. So just putting yourself out there, taking that control. Like, if you want friends, you'll make friends. You'll find people, because there's plenty of people here that also want friends but really don't know where to start. So it's all up to you to start that. I'll say friends making hasn't been too bad here. I've gotten, some may say lucky. I would say I've definitely put in the effort to make friends and have friendships. So put in the effort. Trust. The next thing I'll cover is like cost of living, expenses, budgeting, all that fun stuff. I think I may do a video on this in the future, like breaking down my budget to a T, like specifics, and then like what I spend in a week could be kind of fun. Sorry guys. It's only 9:30 in the morning, by the way. I've been awake since like 5:45. Anyways, yeah, cost of living, expenses, budget, all that fun stuff. So of course that's like another incredibly daunting thing, is how expensive everything is. It's New York City, like obviously it's expensive. However, once you get like a really good budget going, which I definitely did my fair share of, like, okay, on average, how much does a 21-year-old girl need to be sufficient with her grocery shopping per week? You know, like, because like prior to moving here, like I said, I've never had to do this stuff. I've never had to grocery shop for just myself. I've never had to buy cleaning products for my own place. Like, I've never had to, I don't even know, pay for my laundry. Like, even that, like, it's just, yeah, it's breaking down everything and kind of like trial and error too. Like, okay, I was able to get away with this much money this week. I can add this much, or I can take this much away from this specific area of my life. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm wording this correctly, but I hope you understand. So, yeah, that all being said, my personal expenses, I'm a pretty frugal person. However, I am a sucker for like a little sweet treat, or like a nice coffee, or like a treat yourself pastry. So I like consider that. I take that into account when figuring out my budget and like just going about my every day to day here. And it does involve a lot of like careful consideration and almost like calculating. For me, honestly, that could just be myself. Like, I'm a very type A person when it comes to that stuff. So as long as you have like a really firm grasp on like your own personal self-control when it comes to spending, I think you will be just fine on the budgeting of it all. And sometimes, you know, you go over budget in some areas of your life, you go under budget. It just, the way I have it is I personally, like, it rolls over to my next week. So say I spent only $40 on groceries instead of $60. That $20 will either go towards something else for that week, or it will potentially roll over to the next week. Again, I want to do a full in-depth video on my budget and breakdown and stuff, but overall, don't be super, super scared about how expensive everything is, because the thing is, like, you don't have to spend that money, though. Like, you don't have to go out and eat every single day. You don't have to go get drinks with your friends every day. You don't have to, I don't even know. It's just, like, it's a matter of finding the fun of free stuff and free activities. which I've definitely done myself quite a bit. So don't be afraid of expenses and how expensive everything is. It's like, of course it's expensive. It's the greatest city ever. The trade-off is that you get to step outside and be in New York City. It's that simple. Okay, now I'll touch on like something kind of surprising, I guess. So if you know me in my personal life, I am not a drinker. I don't go out. I just, no. I'd rather wake up at 6 in the morning, go to a workout class, or go to a run than go to sleep at 6 in the morning because I'm just getting home from the club or something. You know what I mean? So, that all being said, I honestly find myself drinking and going out for drinks and staying out really late quite a bit here. And I honestly, I feel like it's very much just the culture. It's the norm. It's like, oh yeah, obviously we're going to happy hour, like, duh. Like, I don't know, it's so crazy to me, like, that I live in a neighborhood where, like, there's a lot of office people, like 9 to 5s, and there's a lot of restaurants that offer really great happy hours. So every single day of the week, no matter what, there are people out there without failure. So that's just a really funny, interesting observation I had. Yeah, I find myself going out to drink a lot more, which, like, I don't love, obviously. However, I am giving myself grace because I've been here for just over a month, and it's fun, it's new, it's exciting. I'm not in school right now. My summer classes just finished up, actually. So I'm not in school again until late August. So once the fall season approaches, school starts up again, I'm gonna kind of get it in check a little more, because summer will be over. It'll be like starting to get back into like a comfortable, cozy vibe routine, you know what I mean? But right now, summer's like still going. It's fun. Let's just take in the last few moments, you know? So I am being pretty like generous to myself because I've had a very tough time dealing with balancing these types of things in the past. So allow yourself grace in all aspects of life here. I guess that's the broader spectrum of this whole segment. Okay, next thing, I think this one kind of goes without saying, but also, like, it's an obvious one, but also I didn't realize how obvious it truly is, or how easily accessible this truly is. So being in a city like New York, quite literally you have everything at your fingertips, like, or it feels like you would, or do, or I don't know. But I didn't realize how, as long as you're open to something, and you're open to opportunity, open to new experiences, open to going back, meeting new people, something will find you. So, for example, in the past, like, week, maybe past 2 weeks, I have been presented with two insane opportunities. Like, the first one, I got a referral to apply for a personal shopper assistant at Bergdorf Goodman, and I got to interview for it, and it was an amazing experience, like, so incredible. I was kind of nervous because, like, Bergdorf Goodman, like, Fifth Ave, New York City, like, that's the elite of the elite, top of the line luxury shopping, like, and I'm gonna go interview for that, like, that's crazy. But I did it, and it was awesome. Like, have I heard back from the interview? No. Has it been like a week? Or it's almost been a week. But you know what? Honestly, I did not, after the interview, I was like, oh gosh, like, this is a lot. This would be a very time-consuming job, which would be awesome, for sure. But for this time in my life, I am not really in the position to where I feel like that would serve me the best and give me the most opportunity for growth, if that makes any sense. But yeah, overall, great experience that I would not have had in Arizona ever. And then randomly walking through Washington Square Park, I was approached by this couple who were kind of like selling something or promoting something, and basically they were a part of a startup app, and they asked me if I was a student. I said yes. and they were like, would you be interested in an internship program? It would be like a social media marketing focus. It's a smaller brand, however, like we are quickly becoming more known, more popular. So long story short, I looked into the app. It's really, really cool. So we exchanged information. I had an interview, which it wasn't even like an interview. It was just like you have a great resume, you look qualified, the role is yours if you want it. Like, it was great. It was so weird. I was like, oh, like I was like preparing for this because I'm like, internship interview, I've never done that before. I don't know what to expect. It was so cool. And now I have an internship program for the fall. It's 10 hours a week. It's unpaid. However, I have 2 jobs already, and it's easy, 10 hours, like, and it's fun, like, it's exciting stuff. It's great experience, if anything. Like, it's just experience over, like, money. The money of it all is not really what I'm in there for, obviously. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that starting up. I get to go to, like, the office, the big corporate office here in New York, like, in a couple weeks from now. Yeah, another crazy opportunity. And then let me think what else. Oh, this is like super one-off, but I didn't realize how easy it was to get into like this is gonna sound weird. I don't know how to phrase this. I didn't realize how easy it was to get into like the clubs here, like the cool place. Like, you know what I mean? Like like Taos or Tao, or like Little Sister, or Mr. Purple, Somewhere Nowhere, like these like really well-known clubs. Like, I've been able to go to a handful of them for free and have unlimited drinks for free, like with ease. And I truly didn't put a whole lot into seeking that opportunity, because again, going back, I was never into going out, never was a drinker, never, but you know, quite literally, like, when in Rome, you take the opportunity if you're presented with it. When on occasion, I would not be going out every single weekend, every single day of the weekend. Like, that's crazy. But on occasion, it's fun. If it's there, why not? So I'd say overall, just be open to everything, open to opportunity, talk to everyone. You have no idea where you're gonna end up or what it's gonna... Can you hear that? I'm sorry. You don't know where something will take you unless you are willing to put yourself out there. Yeah. Okay. I want to focus more on like the happy stuff, obviously, the positives, but of course, like, I have to be realistic. So that is the subject of being lonely and feeling alone. Feeling lonely and being alone in a city this populated and large is it's so common. Like, it's very common, at least for me personally and from my own experience. It happens every once in a while. And again, I say all of this stuff, I've only been here 5 weeks, guys. I'm not the one who you should be going to for long-term advice. But just from my own experience of being here for 5 weeks, I think it's pretty important stuff, honestly. It's realistic. So anyways, feeling lonely and being alone in the city are 2 different things. Because, like, you can be alone for a short period of time and, like, be very content. Like, I've been alone this whole morning and I'm doing great. But then, like, come around, like, the evening time on a random weekday, and I'm, like, sitting in my kitchen or sitting at my dining table, like, what do I do? Like, I don't have, like, no one's here to, like, just hang out, or then I start to feel lonely. And it's very real, but this also ties into, like, missing my family and stuff. That's obviously a no-brainer, happens all the time. More so when I am literally alone, of course. However, like, if that's a big thing that you're concerned about, trust me, like, I'll be super transparent. Before moving, and like I never was like, "Ugh, I'm gonna miss my family so much. It's gonna be so weird being alone away from them." That was never a reality that hit me until I actually was here with them, and then when they left, and then it like all hit me like at once, and it was the most insane revelation ever. Like it was rough. It was a rough first couple weeks, I will say. Even when my family was here, it was rough on those last few days. But now I have been able to grow a social circle, and luckily I have friends who are nearby in the area that like if we want to go just for a walk, even like I did that yesterday, and it was so fun. I was feeling a little lonely, so I texted a friend. I'm like, hey, let's go on a walk and just see where we go. Just chill, little walk. No expectations, just to get out of the house. And it was great. And I had a complete 180 of my mood. It was what I needed. I feel like I'm really going on a tangent here. But yeah, just being lonely in the city, it happens. It will absolutely happen. And sometimes you have to almost appreciate that loneliness and the alone time to then feel like better. And if it's the family aspect, they're a phone call away, they're a FaceTime away, they're a text away. If anything, I think I talk to my family too much now. more so than I did when I was living at home. So I don't know. Just making the most of your time here, and just continuing to tell myself that like I lived at home for 21 years. I was surrounded by people for 21 years straight. What's 1 year? What's 2 years? What's 3 years? Living here by myself, like of being alone in again New York City. Like you're never really alone, but you can absolutely feel lonely here, and it's very normal. It's a very normal thing. I think most people experience anywhere, like any new city that they move to. So to wrap that all up, you're gonna feel lonely at times, but it's just making the most of that feeling, whether you decide to sit with that and get more sad or do something about it by walking outside and getting a coffee, or just taking in the views of the Manhattan skyline, of whatever. Like just do something to shift that mood. Find something that you can do to make yourself feel less lonely, whether that be a walk or a phone call or a nap. I don't know, go take a nap, recharge, reset, you know. So that's on like the lonely, more sad part, I guess, about living here. Okay, so not to continue with this like more negative side, but I guess this is kind of a funny thing too. So I was telling my mom about this the other day. I find it very hard to not feel like everything you do here deserves a reward, if that makes sense. So let me explain. Like, for example, a few weeks back, I built a couch completely by myself, and I was like, that was really difficult. Like, I can't believe I just built a whole couch by myself. I've never done that before. Like, I deserve ice cream, like something like that. And it's like, why? You just built a couch, like you deserve ice cream. But like, did I get ice cream? Yes. That's another thing. Like, let me think. Like, I ran 7.5 miles the other day, and I'm just like, yeah, I think I deserve an iced coffee for that. Okay, I guess so, but like, why? Like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I have better examples and I just can't think of anything right now, but like, everything feels like a reward system here, and it's very hard not to give into it, because like, of course you have all the best of the best treats here, like reward type of things. Like, I just had a super long day at work. I deserved a nice dinner. Like, no, that's not how that works. You're not gonna get very far if you have that mindset. And unfortunately, I have that mindset right now, and I'm just trying to deal with it. But I think I've slowly progressed away from that, hopefully. Progressed away from that mindset. But it's just another funny thing. Like, I think that I didn't realize that would really happen to me. So I just thought it was worth mentioning. Last little negative thing I'll touch on is the constant need, the feeling of constantly, the need to constantly be busy and feeling like you are wasting your time when you're not busy. I think I explained that well enough. Like, I jam-pack my days. Like tomorrow, for example, I have work, my first job at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then my second job 2 to 8. And then I think I have plans tomorrow after work. And it's like, I don't need to have plans tomorrow after work. I could just go home and go to sleep because that's a long day, but like, then it feels like I'm wasting a night. Like, but I'm not. It's only a Tuesday night. Oh, and briefly, another thing. A Tuesday night in New York City is not the same as a Tuesday night in Arizona. No. A Monday in New York City is not the same as a Monday in Arizona. It's just not. And if you know what I mean, cool. If not, I can't explain it. I just can't explain it. But yeah, all that being said, I'm dealing with a feeling of like, feeling like I am wasting my time if I'm not doing something at all times. Because then, when I'm not doing something, I start to overthink and start to kind of feel lonely. And then it's like a spiral. It's like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a spiral, but it's like a, what is that word? A cycle. It's like a cycle. Like, even if I just hung out with friends and I get home at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., it's just like instantly like, now what? Like, do I just go to sleep? Like, it's a weird mindset thing I've been dealing with again. But it will all come with me over time. It will come to me over time. It's only been 5 weeks. Give it time. Another thing is that people are really nice here, so long as you are respectful and nice in return, I would say. I have not dealt with many rude people, and if I have, they clearly were going through something, or they were clearly taking something else out on me, which hasn't personally, like I personally haven't experienced like something really bad. I'm just saying, you never know what someone's going through. Show them grace always. It's pretty cliche, pretty basic, but I just felt like it's a very much stereotyped New York City thing to be like, everyone's so mean and rude here. No, that's not true. Everyone is headed to something. They're intentionally going somewhere, intentionally doing something. And it's not out of being rude, it's out of being realistic and timed out to a T. Straightforward with it. People will hold doors open for you all the time. You just gotta make that door. You just gotta make sure you are through that door before they decide to close it, you know? So yeah, people are not that rude. People aren't rude here. Not that rude. People aren't rude here. They're just in a hurry, honestly. And again, I think that's kind of a cliche, but it's true. So from first person experience, it's true. So to round everything out, I think living in New York City for 5 weeks has been pretty crazy. It's even crazy to say that I've been living in New York, period. Because it was such a freaking dream, and now I'm actually here. It's just like wild. Like, when we're looking around, like in my bedroom in New York, like it's just crazy. So all that being said, though, the highs really truly outweigh the lows significantly. So much so that like even the lowest lows are never going to be as low as the highest highs here. And that's what makes the biggest difference about living in a city like New York versus anywhere else. Like, a bad day in Arizona was just a bad day. It was just a bad day in Arizona. And what could I do to solve that? I guess, like, I could spend time with my family. I could go work out, but like, it's just not the same. And again, this is gonna sound like the cheesiest thing ever, but the energy in New York City is just not the same anywhere else. In any other city I've been to, you cannot be living in New York City and tell me like it's not worth it for the time being in your life, especially if you're actively choosing to move here because you like can or want to. Unless you're obligated to be here absolutely at it, like against your will, and you hate it, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. But if you're choosing to be here actively and you're having a bad time and you dreamt about living here your whole life or for a short period of time and you now live here and it's bad, that may be on you. I'm not gonna lie. You may be doing something a little wrong or a little off to be having that experience. So to that I say, listen to the advice that I've given, put yourself out there, and in the end, you're never gonna know unless you try. And that is the quote I have right here, taped to my computer, because it is truly one of the most accurate quotes ever. It's very much a quote that I live by for quite some time, because it's the most accurate thing ever. You're not gonna know unless you try. Because what's the worst case that could happen? Worst case, I moved out to New York City. After my 1 year lease is up, I go home. And I'm back to where I was a month ago, which was great. And it was still a great situation to be in, but I needed something more. And so I made it happen. So, also, apologize if you can hear the alarm in the back. So anyways, that's my brief initial thoughts about living in New York City for now 5 weeks. Maybe I'll make another one of these sit-down videos in the future. Not really sure what I would touch on or specifics. If you have any ideas, open to all, always. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's different for me. I don't just do sit-downs. I know it's kind of like a lot of chatting, but maybe you were eating, maybe you were cooking, maybe you were cleaning and had this on in the background like a podcast. And that's pretty cool because I do the same. So thank you for sticking with me through this video. Hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, social medias everywhere, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay. I said okay a lot. The highs and the ups here are just so tremendously better than the lows. I did not word that right. Ugh.